So let's just go ahead and dive into this real quick about why I take supplements and why I recommend that most people might want to consider doing it. Human evolution and the evolution of this world, we've gone through a dramatic change in this world over the last couple hundred years. Okay, dramatic change. And if someone was making the statement 100 years ago or plus that that they didn't need supplements, okay, that might be somehow true. Okay, that might be somehow true, and I'll tell you why. Because the world was different. However, today, if you want to say you don't need supplements, which you may not, you would have to meet these 6 criteria in order to not need any supplements. Okay? Number 1. Oh, well, somebody asked this question. Will you leave this up for people to watch later? All these videos that I make right now, you can watch on my YouTube page. Okay, so make sure you guys go and follow me on YouTube, because that's where they're going to be posted now. On my YouTube page, it's free, and you can follow me on YouTube at Titus Unlimited on YouTube. It's free. It's a free channel. You can watch it there. All right, so for the people who say that they don't need supplements, right, you would have to all fit these 6 criteria in order to not need supplements. And that might quite well be you. It's not me, but it might quite well be you. Number 1, you have to hunt and gather all your own wild food. Okay? All your own wild food, you have to hunt and gather all of your own wild food. That's number 1. You have to drink pure, clean water. Okay? Pure, clean water. Access to pure, clean, uncontaminated water. Okay, so that means no city water, no tap water, pure, clean water. You have to get all your own pure, clean water. Number 2, you have to exercise vigorously every single day as part of your lifestyle. So I guess through the hunting and gathering and cutting wood and making fires and all that kind of stuff, you would get some of that, but you need to do exercise every single day. Okay, you would have to have zero exposure to any environmental contaminants. Zero exposure, absolutely no exposure to any environmental contaminants at all, ever. You would also have to have zero chronic stress. Okay, zero chronic stress. Okay, and last but not least, you would have to pretty much go to bed with the sunset, and sleep from sunset to sunrise. If you meet all 6 of those criteria, then you can log out. You don't need supplements. You're good. Okay. However, if you don't, which most of us do not, all right, having a certain supplementation diet is advisable. Okay, most people in these quote-unquote developed countries, especially like the United States, most people do not enjoy that, because whether you want to or not, admit it or not, you're going to be at least out of one of those categories, which you don't have access to clean water, and you have at least 2 of those categories. You don't have access to clean water, and you have exposure to environmental contaminants, period. I don't care what you eat. I don't care how clean your diet is. Water, contaminants in the air, water, everywhere, it's all around us. Okay? And you have an increased nutritional need when you get exposed to stress and environmental toxins. All right? So when your body takes in certain toxins, right, it makes you actually release and secrete certain minerals, magnesium, all those different things like that. When you're under undue stress, guess what happens? Your body needs more minerals. Okay? Period. All right. So now the question is, and let's dive into these. First, the chemical part. Over the last 100 years, okay, they have introduced an additional 80,000 new chemicals and additives in the American quote-unquote food manufacturing system. 80,000. So a lot of people love to think about their diets and their lifestyle. Oh, my grandmother ate it. the food that your grandmother and grandparents and people ate 50 years ago is totally different than what we're eating now. Even let's say broccoli. Broccoli has 50% less of the nutrients that it had 50 years ago. Why? The soil is depleted. And actually now, your food supply is actually being hybridized to breed out nutrition and enhance things like starch, sugar, and protein. Okay? And don't get me wrong, starch, sugar, and protein are cool and are necessary for the human body, but when you breed out all the other nutrients that your food is supposed to come with, or actually reduce them, guess what you have? You have nutrient deficiencies. And if you can just once again Google this, right? 98% of Americans or more have at least several major nutrient deficiencies, and some of them will be things like our minerals in our body, so magnesium, zinc, things like that. You will have also omega-3 deficiencies. You will have vitamin D deficiencies. And we saw that especially with vitamin D over the COVID situation. Most people, in fact, 100% people who have optimum vitamin D deficiencies, not a single person died from COVID who had optimum vitamin D levels in their body. Where does that come from? Proper nutrition, proper supplementation. Okay? And once again, I always tell people, anything I tell you, anything I say, please feel free to look it up. Okay? Look this up. I took the time to look it up. If you want to, please look it up. All right? All right, so now, what do I do in that instance? Let me give you an example of a daily diet. Okay? A daily diet. For instance, 8 ounces of magnesium. 8 ounces of magnesium. 8 ounces of wild-caught sockeye salmon. Okay? 8 ounces of wild-caught sockeye salmon. How much magnesium do you guys think that has in it? 53 grams, 53 milligrams, sorry. 53. Yeah, 53. How much magnesium do you think the average woman needs on a daily basis just for good maintenance? 300 to 350. A cup of raspberries, right, has 6 grams. Are you guys getting the picture now? Do you know how much you would have to eat in food just to make up that gap between, well, now 8 grams of fish, which is a good serving of fish for a meal, all right, and a cup of raspberries, which is a good serving of fruit, especially if you mix your fruit up, right? Even if you did that 2 times a day, you're at 120. That's 1/3. And then here's the thing about nutrients, what people don't get, because a lot of times people think, oh, I'm going to take this one supplement. Oh, I take a vitamin C supplement. Oh, I take a magnesium supplement. Those things are great. But what people don't get is that your supplements work in concert. All right? Your supplements work as a team. You actually need certain supplements. You need certain nutrients in order for certain nutrients to work. For example, right? A lot of women are what? They have iron deficiencies, magnesium deficiencies, stuff like that. Are you aware that you actually need optimum levels of vitamin C in order for iron to be properly absorbed? So you can be taking all the iron you want, but if you're not getting enough vitamin C, you're really not absorbing that much iron, and you will still have an iron deficiency. That's why we talk about broad-based nutrition, good balanced nutrition, with a good supplement plan behind it. Once again, you still need to eat good food. You still need to eat a balanced meal. But you also need to make sure you're getting high quality nutrients. So a lot of people take, for instance, I have one supplement called the Complete Minerals, right? And the Complete Minerals is sea moss, bladderwrack, burdock root. And that gives you all 102 minerals your body requires. But it gives it to you in high doses. So take, for instance, 1,000 milligrams of sea moss gives you about 25% of your magnesium that you need for a day. 25%. And I don't recommend that people go much higher than that, even though the supplement does have 1,500, right? Because you should get most of your magnesium from food. But you see how much easier it becomes to hit your target, right? When you have somewhat upwards of, let's say, 37% coming from one scoop of organic supplements. Okay? So once again, now, the sea moss, bladderwrack, and burdock root has all 102 minerals. So imagine getting a broad base where you're getting 30 to 40% of your minerals, right, in one serving in a supplement. It makes it easier to hit your other marks. You know, the smaller, you know, minerals like selenium and all those other things like that. You know, like take for even the most prevalent mineral in the human body, which is calcium, right? How many grams of calcium do you think that 8 ounce of salmon has? 14. That's it. And so what happens is that a lot of times as we age, right? We lose the benefit of certain hormones and things like that has kept us vibrant and stuff like that. And so people think that their body deteriorating when they age is normal. No, actually what happens is we need to actually start looking at aging as a disease. A disease that's brought on by malnutrition, misuse, overuse, and underuse. Okay? And I'll explain it. Malnutrition, you're not getting the proper vitamins and minerals. I tell people all the time, your body rebuilds itself every day. Every day we shed skin, we grow new skin. Every day we shed, our bodies break down cells and we put up new cells. What are we making these cells with? You think the cells are just being made out of thin air? No. The cells are actually being made off of the things that you eat. Your nutrition. If your nutrition is crappy, guess what? You get crappy cells. You don't get properly rebuilt skin. You know, you don't replenish your collagen. If you're under too much stress, even if you're taking in things, guess what? You're not getting the proper amount of nutrients. And guess what happens? When you have those different stress levels on you, and you compound that with poor nutrition, what do you have? Aging. Think about the human body, right? When you were a kid, you know, you exercised every day. You used certain, you know, joints and muscles on a daily basis. So that's why they stay tight, they stay supple, they stay, you know, flexible. What happens when you don't use them very often? Underuse. What happens? They get weaker. They get more stiff. They're not as mobile. When you try to do something, they cramp up. Okay? Now let's look at the extreme of things, right? Has anybody seen a professional athlete in their 40s or 50s? A professional athlete, usually a lot of them are hobbled. They move kind of slow. Why? That's an example of overuse. Why? Because like take for instance the basketball player. It is hell on the body to play 82 professional basketball games every year. Plus practice, plus this, plus that. Okay? So we have to be very mindful when we start looking at aging. We have to recognize it for what it is. It's not normal. It's actually a product of poor nutrition, okay, which leads to disease, dysfunction, and things like that. And it can even be worsened by, like I said, misuse, overuse, and sometimes underuse. All right? Take, for instance, underuse. Things like, we were talking about that the other day when I did the Wellness Wednesday talk with Media Blackout. We talk about sexual dysfunction. A lot of men experience sexual dysfunction. Why? Because they underuse their sexual organs. What happens to you? What do you think happens if you have an extremity that blood does not go through, that blood is supposed to go through on a regular basis, and you need it to do that in order for it to properly function, and it doesn't do it for a very long period of time? Reduced circulation, shrinkage, all those different things. And then now we have the psychological effects of it that kick in, which is a whole different story. But that's just an example. All right. So when people ask me why I take supplements to make sure that I give my body the proper nutrition so that my body can always be able to rebuild itself properly. So now, what do you need to do? What are the main supplements you need to take? Once again, we talked about it. minerals. We're carbon-based beings, so I like to prioritize the minerals, but there are other things such as omega-3 fatty acids. Those things are good. Good healthy fats are good for you as well. We talk about, like the phytonutrients that you get in fruit and vegetables. All right, those are the things that actually, build your cells, your antioxidants. Okay, those are the things that, even though you're facing stress, even though you face these environmental toxins and things like that, those things reduce the amount of toxic stress, or the amount of, what's the word I'm looking for here? They reduce the amount of oxidative stress that these things will have on your body. So number one, you look at what you're eating, right? And you reduce the amount of toxic load you're bringing into your body. That's why I always tell people, take a look at the 30-day challenge, right? Cutting out the sugar, the breads, the processed foods, the alcohol, the caffeine, the added caffeine. Cut those things out. Allow your body to reset. Allow your body to just get nothing but natural things into your body. Like I said, you're not designed to drink anything else but water. All right, yeah, we can have herbal tea and stuff like that. That's still water. But when you start putting things in that stimulate the body, like caffeine and all that stuff on a regular basis, you start to affect your body's normal functions, like your adrenal glands and things like that. So you want to be very mindful of how much and how often you do that. And in order to get your body to a place of reset and level, sometimes we need to back away from those things to allow our bodies to do that, reset. All right. Someone says, I have a big problem with caffeine and sugar. A lot of people do. Once again, caffeine and sugar are pushed to you. All right. Because caffeine and sugar, believe it or not, right, are some of the main culprits in our diet when it comes down to our nutrient deficiency. How many people realize that when you eat high amounts of sugar, your body actually has to secrete more nutrients, especially minerals, right? And so when you talk about minerals being the key, and the fact that we're carbon-based beings, that we need minerals in order to survive, in order for our bodies to properly function, when you're putting a substance in there that actually keeps sucking out the minerals out of your body, well, guess what? After a long period of time, when you start to get these mineral deficiencies, you guys can look this up as well, and you can put this quote in and you'll see who made it. Every known disease can be traced back to a mineral deficiency. Every known disease. It didn't say some, okay? It didn't say a few. Every known disease can be traced back to a mineral deficiency. Okay? Every known disease. I want to just stop real quick and just tell the people on Facebook and Instagram, thank you to all the people who purchase stars. Unfortunately, I don't see the names all the time, so I just want to say thank you to the guys, people who purchase stars and badges on Instagram. For the people who always wonder where it is, it's right on the bottom on Instagram. It's the heart, but I really do appreciate that. So once again, every known disease can be traced back to a mineral deficiency, and Keith, I'll get to your question in a second. All right. So now when people ask me, well, what supplements do you take? All right. Well, everybody's needs are going to be different, but what I will tell you is I will tell you about the basics. All right. The basics are I take a supplement for my minerals. So the complete minerals, you guys have seen me use it. The complete minerals, I have it in capsule and in powder form. I'll show you guys the powder form in a little bit, but capsules and powder form, that's the sea moss, bladderwrack, and burdock root, all 102 minerals that your body requires. Okay, so all 102 minerals that your body requires. All right, so there you go. I take that. The other supplement that I take, once again, we talk about high amounts of vitamins in our bodies, and also the putting things in our bodies that help to fight oxidative stress, to help to cleanse and detoxify our bodies. That's where my Chlorella and Spirulina come in. Chlorella, especially Chlorella, is extremely high in all of your B vitamins, your B6, your B12, which for a lot of people who are plant-based, they really can't get really good sources of B12. All right, so Chlorella is something that's extremely important for that. The thing I love about Chlorella the most is, number one, not only is it very high in chlorophyll, which helps to oxygenate your body, but it's also high in magnesium and zinc. But Chlorella also helps to clean heavy metal toxins out of your body. So we talk about the toxins and stuff that we come into contact with all the time. Once again, There you go. All right. So complete minerals, Chlorella and Spirulina, those are my two favorite. And then the last one that I love, as far as major that I love to talk about is getting good hormone balance. Once again, I make this statement all the time. Your hormones don't change when you get old. You get old when your hormones change. All right? And what actually dictates proper hormonal function? Proper nutrition. Period. Okay? Proper nutrition. If your nutrition is on point, right? Your activity, your exercise is on point, guess what? Your hormone levels will be fine. If your hormone levels are fine, guess what? You don't age that much. Okay? Yeah, there's normal wear and tear on the human body. We have the same joints and stuff like that, and yet we have to care for them differently. But as far as aging, your skin, all that kind of stuff, your energy levels, all those things being thrown off drastically, no. I can be a perfect example for that. Okay? You guys can see my skin levels. My skin is very elastic, all right? So a lot of times when people age, you pull their skin and it doesn't have elasticity. It would leave a mark. Mine does not. Why? Because I have high levels of collagen. I have, good nutrition. I drink enough water. I have good minerals in my body all the time. I reduce my stress levels. Nothing special about me. It's just how I care for myself, all right? So that means anyone can do the same. So now, and then women, you guys, so when it comes down to hormone levels, I do the steel, right? The steel is good because there's certain ingredients in steel like the Tongkat Ali, which is great for boosting male testosterone, maca root, which is great for balancing out hormone levels as well, things like horny goat weed. And then I know the next question is for women, so the same thing for women. We have the women's enhancement and also the horny goat weed complex. Once again, taking those two will have the same effect. Once again, giving a good boost to your hormonal levels and good balance to your hormonal levels, especially if you are doing the right things as far as having the proper amounts of minerals and vitamins in your body, making sure your body is clean. Now, there are added supplements that you can take like turmeric and ginger, which help with inflammation, because a lot of people know one of the main symptoms of most diseases is going to be what? Inflammation. Inflammation is the root of most diseases, right? But inflammation is usually underpinned by what? Mineral deficiencies or some kind of deficiency. So then you can take a little bit extra things like turmeric and ginger and stuff like that, right? And those things help with managing and maintaining better inflammatory response in your body, reducing inflammation in the body. Okay? Let's think of another one. And then you can never get enough antioxidants in your body. So once again, I take things like beetroot. Beetroot is a vasodilator, but also very high in antioxidants, which is why I also eat a lot of fruit, vegetables, and things like that. I'm partial to fruit, but the main reason why is because of the high levels of antioxidants that it offers me, all right? High levels of antioxidants, once again, reducing the oxidative stress on my body. So then, when I do that, guess what? Even when I do come in contact with environmental toxins and things of that nature, right? They actually will have less of an effect on me because I'm constantly plying my body with antioxidative, nutrients, right? That pretty much stop and or can reverse the effects of, once again, high oxidative stress on the body. All right. Someone says, do you have cheat days in your diet? Yes. But once again, I always tell people when we start to talk about cheat days, right? Simple question. When you cheat on your diet, who are you cheating? And most especially, what are you cheating yourself out of? What is the reward you get? Okay? Because right now we're talking about a higher quality of life. All right, just even having the right quantities of things like, magnesium, fatty acids, and things like that have been proven to add 5 years to your life. But now we're not even just talking about the time; we're talking about the quality of life. So let me ask you this question: when people start talking about cheat meals, right? Who are you actually cheating? All right. So now with me. I would have more what I call treat meals, and those treat meals are going to be something that's going to be a little bit more caloric dense, right? Richer in flavor and calories and things like that, but yet not toxic to my bodies. Okay, so Cheat meal for me is not a box of donuts. Cheat meal is a couple of extra homemade pancakes. All right. Cheat meal is, guess what? A slightly bigger steak than normal. All right. But even with that, I balance it out as far as my proper caloric intake and things like that. Okay. Because I know ultimately when I quote unquote cheat on my diet, when I cheat on my nutrition, right? The only person that truly loses is me. Now the question is, how much am I willing to lose? How much do I respect the work I've put in? All right. How much do I respect how much effort I put in, for my diet and my proper health and proper care, right? And am I willing to sacrifice that all for something that I already know is toxic to my body? So it's, once again, I mean, it's like, how much poison is enough? How much poison is too much? Especially when, like I said, and that's these are some of the things I try to, educate people on. And like I said, it starts mentally. Okay, your path to a better life, better health, is primarily a mental shift first. And that's why I tell people you have to change your relationship with food. How do you view food? All right. What does food represent to you? Okay? Is food fuel or is food entertainment? Because once again, we have been conditioned to view food as entertainment. We're the only animals in the world, right, that eat for pleasure. Every other animal eats for sustenance. Any animal in the wild eats for sustenance. And they only eat as much as they are supposed to eat. You don't see overweight animals in the wild. They only eat what's necessary for proper sustenance. And then they will come back later when they're hungry again. But they will not overeat just because it's there. We are different. We've been conditioned to do that. We actually have sensors in our bodies that tell us when we're full. But when you look at companies like, say, like McDonald's, right? And you guys can look this up. McDonald's one time I think they still have it in there. They actually put a chemical in their fries that actually dulls your body's natural response to being full, so that you would overeat. You would eat more fries. They were actually sued about that. And guess what? The court didn't hold them liable. Of course, it was still your responsibility, even though these people are actually putting chemicals in their food to make you overeat. Think about it. Think about that. So once again, understanding these things are important. All right, and so I hope that helps people understand the need for proper supplementation, the need for proper diet first, the need for proper supplementation, and also the need, when we talk about 80,000 new chemicals, the need to cleanse your system. Because once again, you're going to come into contact with these things on a daily basis, right? And over time, they build up in your system. What are you doing to make sure you remove these things from your system? What are you doing on a daily basis? And sometimes, what large-scale cleaning of your body are you doing? All right. Someone says, how is that legal? It's very legal when the food companies and the drug companies own the people in this country who are supposed to look out for you and me, right? But guess what? They're owned by the food companies, the drug companies. They're owned by these people. And so guess what? That's how they can actually make foods that are banned in most other countries and still sell them here. Okay. And they put it under the term generally regarded as safe. Go look up that acronym, GRAS. Generally regarded as safe. Even though these things are toxic, even though there's studies that have proven they're toxic, even though well over dozens of other countries have banned these things, right? Our FDA and USDA will recommend it as, or regard it as, generally regarded as safe. Why? Because they're paid off to do it. Okay? So that's why you see even the food, like I said, I always laugh about it, and it's not a funny thing, but, it's something to note. The Food and Drug Administration, there's a reason why they're together. Because guess what? The foods you eat will lead you to the drugs that you will have to take. Okay? The foods you eat will lead you to the drugs you will have to take. And you see, when people, Lucille, I'm glad you said I was a big emotional eater. But we have to be very careful when we tag ourselves with names like that. I'm an emotional eater. No, you're a person. And you choose to eat when your emotions go in swing. You're not born an emotional eater. You decided to do that as a way to cope. The same way you decided to do that, you can learn and do different. Okay? But when we give ourselves these titles like that, when we give ourselves these crutches like that, right? We also sometimes paralyze ourselves to be able to do something about it, because it's almost like I'm helpless, I'm an emotional eater. No, you chose that. That is how you chose to cope. And you can choose different ways to cope. Okay? Millie says some people don't know how and when to eat, or when to even eat. Yeah, well, once again, a lot of people have destroyed their natural mechanisms in their body. So people always ask me that question. Great point there, Millie. People always ask me that question. Do you count calories? No, I don't count calories, because I learned how to eat intuitively. All right. Once again, in our world right now, especially our quote unquote nutritionists, they have now got people deluded into counting calories, right? And they think calories are calories. Calories are not calories. And calories are not what's most important. What's most important are nutrients. All right? Once again, you can get 2,000 calories, I believe, from eating six donuts. Because I think a donut is like 350 calories. You can get 2,000 calories from eating 6 donuts. Seriously. Once again, look it up. But how many nutrients are you going to get in those donuts? Whereas I can give you a highly nutritious 1,000 calories, right, that will have you in a much better physical condition than your 2,000 calories, even though it's double. So someone's asking, do I count macros? No, I do not, right? But I know what a balanced meal is supposed to look like. Now, in the beginning, would I tell people not to count macros? No. You want to get an idea of what you should be eating. But once again, as opposed to counting calories, make sure you're counting nutrients. Okay? Someone says, do you eat carbs? Yes, because carbs are essential. They're an essential macronutrient. You cannot go for a very long period of time without eating carbs. However, we have to also understand how much and how many carbs do you need. Because when you eat excess carbs, what does your body do with excess carbs? It stores it as fat. Okay? Someone says, I can't control my emotions, and after that, I have changed. First of all, you can control your emotions because you dictate your emotions. Nothing outside dictates your emotions. You decide to respond that way. Once again, we have to be very careful with that word can't. We have to rid our minds of can't, right? Is it difficult? Maybe. But it's a choice. All right? So, somebody keeps asking about sugar. Listen, sugar, your body needs sugar, but your body needs a very minimal amount of sugar. Anything more, guess what? Your body stores as fat. Okay? Excess sugar, once again, like we said, okay, if you eat too much sugar, it actually causes your body to secrete minerals, which your body needs. All right? The average person in the United States eats about 7 times as much sugar as they need. Okay? The average person probably needs about 70 grams of sugar in a day. 70 grams. That's it. 70 grams of total sugar. And now think about how much, and look at the foods you eat, right? And all the different things that you have that has sugar in it. And that's the average person. Once again, if you're a highly active person working out and stuff like that, your sugar needs might be slightly higher because guess what? You have more demands on your body, Once again, if you're a highly active person, you might actually require more protein, more carbs. Once again, I said the average person. Okay, but no one needs 350 grams of sugar, which is what the average person in the United States consumes, which is why the average person in the United States, 75% of our population is overweight. That's why 70% of the population is on prescription drugs. Okay, so but yeah, a lot of times when people love to put those words on themselves, I can't. And can't is a very paralyzing word, all right? It's a very paralyzing word. Because the moment you put the word can't in, okay? The moment you put the word can't in, that destroys all possibilities. There's nothing that comes after can't. Can't means you're done, you're dead, boom, done. Is it difficult? Do you need to learn a different way? I need to learn how to do it better? Those are all better responses than the word can't, because can't is very definite. Can't do it. And the moment you can't do it, you paralyze yourself to all your possibilities. All right? Someone says, what's the best herb to lower blood pressure? I do everything right and can't understand why it's high. Well, let's look at your overall diet, first of all right? But as far as the best herb, and I think that's one of people's biggest problems. You know, people look at nutrition, you know, like the pharmaceutical world. Oh, just take this one pill. Just take this one thing. Wellness is an overall comprehensive thing. That being said, something that will definitely help you with blood pressure, two things. Chlorella and Spirulina will help you with blood pressure, lowering your blood pressure. Another thing is beets. Beetroot will help you with lowering your blood pressure. All right. But once again, you know, when people say I've done everything, right? Usually when people book a consultation, we get to talking, we find out that you've done everything that you've known about, but there might be something still hiding in your diet and in your lifestyle, your activities that are promoting this higher blood pressure. Okay. And no, I mean, Millie says replace with can. You can replace it with don't know how to, yet, trying to, I struggle with. All those things are better than can't. All right? All those things are better than can't. So, once again, so the supplements that I take regularly, complete minerals, once again, all 102 minerals your body requires. Chlorella spirulina, okay? Very high in vitamins, especially your vitamin Bs, zinc, magnesium, but high in chlorophyll, also helps to detoxify and cleanse the body. And I take something for my hormone levels, which is steel. All right, I take my steel because my steel is high in nutrients like tungcat ali, horny goat weed, maca root. All those things help to stabilize and sometimes boost certain hormones that my body requires for proper function. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how I would, you know, once again, I've done this before, but I'm going to show you guys how basically I incorporate a very simple routine, because a lot of times what people don't get is that our habits, right, the shift in our health can be accomplished in 10 or 15 minutes every day, putting in a few new habits, right, and taking out a few bad ones, which will encompass 15 minutes of your day, can change your life, literally. Can change your life. I always tell people, start your day off with warm water, a little bit of lime or lemon, okay? And I do a little chia seeds. Usually my warm water, I put it in the form of herbal tea, right? But you can just do warm water. What does that do? Jumpstarts your digestive system. It helps to flush out toxins. Why? Because water is one of the best macronutrients. Actually, I would tell people, water is the number one supplement your body needs. Why? Because your body is over 2/3 water. Make sure you get enough water in your body, all right? Flushing your system out, keeping it clean, all right? Why chia seeds? Because chia seeds are also very nutritious for you, but most importantly, they're very high in fiber. Why do we need fiber? Fiber is your body's janitor. Fiber actually helps to cleanse your body of the toxins, the waste, and all that stuff, the mucus buildup in your system. Doing that on a regular basis every single morning is great. Why lime or lemon? Why? Because it has flavonoids in it. What does that do? It helps to cleanse your liver. Your liver in your body is where all the toxins are processed. So imagine every single day you wake up, it's almost like doing a light sweeping in your house every day. Every morning you wake up, light sweeping, right? Do you get everything? No, but you keep things clean. Then you actually start to look at the rest of your diet. How much other fiber are you taking? All right. And all those things like that. All right. So we have to be very mindful of those things. But daily maintenance, daily nutrition are going to be the keys, the hallmarks to good overall health. So let me show you guys like basically how easy it is. A simple strategy, if you will, that I incorporate every day, right? That helps me, like I said, get my nutrients in, all right, and keep my body clean and stay on top of all the things that I need in order for my body to properly function, and how I can get it done in like 15 minutes, okay? So, you can walk around here real quick. You ready? I'm gonna bring this with me. Righty. So, all right. So a lot of times in the morning, like I said, when I wake up in the morning, I will start my day off with my warm water, my lime, my chia seeds, and stuff like that. So I've already done that. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my supplements. Okay. So when I take my supplements in the morning, and I've done this for you guys before, but some people haven't seen it. We talk about, the antioxidants and phytonutrients that we get from fruit and vegetables, right? So I start off my day very simple with my red and green superfoods, and I just put a scoop of that, okay? And that's my red. Scoop of that, and that's my green. And basically these are red and green fruits and vegetables, basically dehydrated, pounded into powder, right? That for people who may not have the time to eat all this really quickly, right? Now I have that. And does this give me everything? No. But it gives me a lot. It gives me a good baseline to start my day off. Once again, antioxidants, phytonutrients, those things like that. And then I take my supplements, which would be very simple. My complete minerals. Okay. So now I'm about to get my minerals in my body. Hold on, this one. Okay. My Chlorella Spirulina. A lot of times with Chlorella and Spirulina, I double up on this. And the reason why is because you can't overdose on Chlorella. Once again, very high in the B vitamins, cleansing and detoxifying your body. And then my steel. Okay. Good hormonal balance. And that's how we'll jumpstart my day as far as supplements. So now people ask, okay, what do you eat? All right. So people are talking to me about macros. Everybody always get your macros, get your macros. All right. So what are your macros? Your macros are going to be protein, carbs, fiber, fats. And we talk about your nutrients in your body working in concert. So a lot of times people don't understand, like, you need good healthy fats in order for your body to absorb and be able to digest protein properly. Especially for guys over 40, we need good healthy fats because good healthy fats help to promote better testosterone production in our bodies. All right. So if you're there staying away from healthy fats, then guess what? You're not going to get proper, testosterone support for your body and what have you, even though you might be doing all the other things, pretty well. So what's a fast smoothie that I can make for myself that helps me get better broad-based nutrition? All right. So let me go ahead and grab a few things real quick. So I like using frozen fruit. Why? Because it's cheaper. It's cheaper, it lasts longer, and you can get good quality fruit, especially frozen, because you just buy organic. So I have some organic mango chunks here. I'm sorry for the noise, but That would be like a cup of mangoes, which is good. All right. And I like to mix it up because once again, we like, a lot of times when I talk to people about, do you eat fruit, right? And a lot of people are still raised off of the old simple fruit ideas. Yeah, I eat a banana, I eat an apple. We have to put variety in our fruit and let's get something straight. Certain fruit have more nutrients than others. All right, and they have different nutrients than others, and higher concentrations in things, and do different things better. Like, take for instance, magnesium. Magnesium is good. Not magnesium, but mango. Mango is good for your, for your digestive health, and also higher in magnesium than, take for instance, a banana would be. Okay, so we have to make sure we do that. Now I'm going to toss in some berries. So I got some strawberries and raspberries here. Go ahead and toss a few of them in. Okay. And once again, you can mix and match your fruit however you choose. Once again, whatever your favorites are, you can do that. And I had one last piece of dragon fruit here that was just kind of hanging around. I'm going to go ahead and toss that in there. All right. Go ahead and put this up real quick. All right. So now, we have carbs from our fruit. We have a little bit of fiber, and also because the fruit have fiber, we have a lot of antioxidants and phytonutrients in this already. Okay, so now let's look for additional nutrients, because once again, it's not about calories, it's about nutrition. So right now, this right here will be actually very low in calories, but very decent in nutrition so far. So one of the reasons why I love to use something like chia seeds, because chia seeds are highly nutritious. Why? Fiber, iron, calcium. Okay, so once again, if you get a good trace of iron, like I said, you can get about 15% of your daily iron. And one of the things, like I always tell people, is you want to get your nutrients from a variety of sources. So I'm going to put about 2 of chia seeds. Chia seeds will not change the taste or anything or the texture of my smoothie, but once again, the more nutrients, the better. All right, and then one of the major macronutrients that my body requires is protein. So I have a good plant-based protein here. Plant-based protein is a little bit easier on the digestive system. All right, and it usually comes with more nutrients. Why? Because it's coming from plants, as opposed to meat, which is nothing wrong with meat, but meat is going to give you some nutrients, but not as much as, let's take for instance, plants. Why? Because plants are going to have other nutrients associated with it, vitamins, minerals, and things like that, that just are not as high or as present in meat. All right, plus it comes with fiber. So there you go. So I'm going to put, say, a scoop and a half. We also have to be very mindful of protein consumption. And why? Because although protein is a necessary macronutrient, your body can only digest but so much protein at a time. So I see sometimes people eating a big, huge piece of steak, and granted, that's great. I mean, it might be your favorite thing, you love it, but your body can only digest and use but so much protein at a time. And unlike a nutrient like carbs that your body can store, your body can't store protein. So what you don't use immediately, your body will pass out in the form of waste. All right, so putting 3 scoops of protein in your protein shake is wasteful, because your body can only use 25 to 35 grams of protein depending on the person. All right, so putting 50 and eating a huge steak, those things are unnecessary. So even 8 ounces, we were talking about salmon earlier, 8 ounces of wild caught sockeye salmon is going to give you about 48 ounces of protein. Your body can only use about 3/4 of that. Yeah, you want to go a little over because sometimes there's waste in the body, but yeah, that's it. Anything way more than that is just what? It's just more. That's all it is. But it's not that your body's actually going to use it. All right, so we have to be very mindful of that. All right, and so I could also add my complete minerals in the form of powder. All right, so let's just say I didn't take those just now. All right, and I would just take 1 scoop, add that in. Make sure when you're using the complete minerals in the powder form that you put it in a smoothie, because it doesn't really taste that good by itself, because once again, it's strictly organic, sea moss, bladderwrack, and burdock root, and so it's going to taste like it, and that's not necessarily the most pleasant taste. Highly nutritious, but not the best tasting. So, you know, capsules are good. You know, you can just take the capsules, but if you're going to use this, make sure you put it in a fruit smoothie. Any kind of fruit smoothie will mask the taste, and you won't taste it at all. But just like putting it in water or something like that, not necessarily the best of moves. All right, so make sure that you do that. All right, and now additional things that I could put in here. We talk about, you know, additional, you know, antioxidants. So for instance, I could take a little bit of since we have. Well, I'm not going to add that in because I have strawberries and raspberries in there, because that one might not make the best of taste. But I could put a little bit of turmeric powder, or like I said, I could just take, you know, the whole superfoods bundle, and, you know, and that has ginger turmeric in it, so I could do it that way. And I could also put ginger in there, but I'm not going to do that because I have the berries in there. I don't want to destroy that taste. All right, so there you go. So now in here, I'm going to have protein, carbs, fiber. Okay, now all I'm missing is healthy fats. Now, yes, the protein has MCT oil in it, which is a good healthy fat, has 400 milligrams. But let's assume I wanted to add a little extra fats in there. How would I do that? Very simple. I could just add a little bit of nut butter in there. All right. So I'm gonna put a little bit of almond butter in here. Perfect. I'm almost out of this. But you can put about a teaspoon or to a tablespoon of almond butter, and that's all you need for a good serving of healthy fats. All right, now I can mix this with water, I can mix this with plant-based milk. Today I'm actually going to mix this with a little coconut milk because it has a little bit of a tropical taste to it. Alrighty. And then I'm going to blend it until smooth. So that'll take about a few seconds here, so just bear with me. Fantastic. Let's see what this pours like. Perfect. All right, let me taste this real quick. Excellent taste. So, for instance, if I was going to eat a solid meal after this, you guys have seen me make this before. This is going to be my oatmeal, and yes, I do eat my food, so I have a little bit left, but this would be my oatmeal that I make, and this is, you know, I made this with protein, raspberries, blueberries. I put some granola and nuts on top. I would eat this right here with some fruit after this, and that's how I get a good base for my nutrition for the day. But once again, I've taken the proper supplements, I've drank the proper amount of water, and now I've given myself almost at this point close to 50% of the nutrition that my body needs in order for proper function, which then produces the results that you see. Very simple. All right, and you can do this stuff, like I said, is putting a few good habits in early in your day, in the morning, right, to jumpstart your day, and taking a few bad habits out. So let me come around so we can close this out really quick. But yeah, so I hope, like I said, this was beneficial to you guys. And I hope this answers the questions for people. Why do I take supplements? Why do I need supplements? It would be great if we didn't have to take supplements, all right? But where we are right now in our world, I think it's highly beneficial. Great question, Bridget. How much protein do we need? I never answered that. That's a good one. You caught me on that one. The protein requirements for people vary, okay? Now, we grew up in lifting weights and stuff, hearing you need 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's not actually true. You actually don't need that much protein. For the average person, you would need about, let's say, 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body mass. All right, so the average guy who's not working out much, let's say 80 grams of protein in a day. All right, if you're very active, take that up by another 50%. Okay, me, I consume anywhere between 120 to 140 grams of protein. I'm 200 pounds, and as you guys can see, I don't have a problem putting on muscle, maintaining muscle. I don't have any strength issues. I don't have any issues at all. All right, so but by what I'm told, or what they say, the 1 gram, I should be eating upwards of 200 grams of protein, and a lot of times that is unnecessary. Another thing that protein does, protein puts a lot of stress on your kidneys. All right, so you see a lot of bodybuilders, especially as they get older in years, right? You will see they will have things like renal disease and stuff like that. They have kidney replacements and other things, but we don't need that much protein. All right, making sure that you get a good amount of protein is necessary, because protein is a macronutrient that your body does require. All right, I always tell people, when you get protein, make sure you're getting protein from more than just meat sources. So I try to get at least half of my protein, or try to get a good portion of my protein from non-meat sources. So things in the shape of beans, chia seeds, hemp, all those different things you can get, different sources of good protein from, but you do need to optimize your protein. And optimizing your protein, you're very safe if you get 0.5 grams. So half of your body weight. There you go. So take, for instance, my body weight would be 200, right? So about 100 grams for the average person is okay. All right, you can do a little bit more than that, but you don't have to do too much, right? Well, someone says, she says, I'm not doing enough. I don't eat much meat. Meat is not the only place you can get protein. All right, you can get protein from plant-based sources as well. All right, so don't only just look at meat or fish. Yes, they are much easier to get it from meat and fish, but that's not the only place you can get it from. All right, not the only place. So I hope this helped you guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Once again, visit the website TitusUnlimited.com. Use the discount code Unlimited20, especially for some of these supplements that you guys saw me use here. Complete minerals, some of the superfoods. Those are great in smoothies. Guys, make sure you get that steel. Young ladies, look at the women's enhancement and the horny goatweed complex. But yes, we do, once again, need supplements, unless you fall into those 6 categories that I spoke of earlier. All right, we do need some kind of supplementation, because most people are going to be nutritionally deficient in several areas. So once again, use the discount code Unlimited20. When is the Unlimited plan coming back? We should have it ready to go probably in about a week. It's going to be a newer version, a better version. I do apologize for the inconvenience, but we will take care of all the people who prior purchased it. So no worries. We'll make sure that we get you in. Okay. But that's it for right now, guys. Once again, use that discount code Unlimited20, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.